Hello, it's my rankings of all UK Eurovision entries, places 52 to 48. Welcome to Matt Loves Eurovision. Please do click on the subscribe button, also ring that notification bell, and please do like, share and comment below. So this next batch of 5 songs in my long countdown of all UK Eurovision entries, we will hit the top 50. But we'll be starting off with number 52, and that is the 2007 entry, Scooch, Flying the Flag for You. So this is a trifle perhaps sort of divisive on this, and it was divisive at the time, I think, with Scooch. It's, on the one hand, it is a lot of camp, fun and nonsense, and it remains so. On the other hand, it's one of those examples of songs of that it's almost like if a British tabloid could show a song that was kind of the archetype of what they think Eurovision is and should be, this might have been it. So it's quite a difficult one to decide, kind of, is it, something I really dislike or something I really enjoy? I think it's a bit of both, really. I think there was for those that remember, this beat a really good female solo ballad, Cindy, which Terry Wogan managed to announce her as the winner mistakenly during the actual UK national final, but it was Scooch that won. And I think that was probably a big frustration for a lot of people. And it did okay, but it didn't do very well actually. It only got 12 points from Malta from a somewhat ironic sort of stroke protest vote. So yeah, it's for me it is an example of where the UK perhaps went wrong, or where the idea of Eurovision got lost. But at the same time, at Eurovision shows, some Eurovision events, it's a lot of fun. It's a sort of a camp classic in many ways. So yeah, I've still got mixed feelings about this one. At 51, it's 2005's Javine, Touch My Fire. So, Javine's song "Touch My Fire" was a kind of a sort of ethno-bop, ethno-dance sort of track, which were very popular back in the mid-2000s, and many often still are now. It's not bad at all, really. But it really suffered at the contest. It finished fairly lowly, along with the other big four at the time, and I think, having watched Eurovision again quite recently, which was 2005, you can see that it got swamped by a lot of better and catchier Euro bops that year, and it didn't get a great sort of position, second position. So it's okay, it's serviceable. But I think, it's not, I wouldn't say it was the greatest performances. It's nothing that sort of stands out. And again, as is often the case for the UK in the 2000s, it really needs to stand out more and be more than that. At 50, so we'll go back to 1979. It's Black Lace and Marianne.
Marianne, I'm gonna do what I can, but I can't do it more than try. Tear my heart out, trying to make it up to you. Marianne, I'm gonna do what I can.
So many of you, like myself, might know Black Lace more from the fact that they were behind the really big hit of the early 80s called Agadoo, much beloved of holidaymakers in the Costa del Sol and various other places. And Black Lace did certainly go on to be much more about novelty entries or novelty songs, but this song was their first ever song, and it's much more in the kind of the British 1970s glam rock mould. And yeah, I think it fits into quite well for that. I've never warmed to it that much, and it did pretty well. I mean, it came 7th, as the UK often did well back in those days. But yeah, I've never really quite connected with it. And I know Alan Barton's voice was deliberately kind of that gravelly. They wanted that sound, but it's one that perhaps it's just a style that I'm not quite so keen on, which is why I don't have it perhaps so high in my list. 49, it's 1999's entry, Precious, Say It Again. $1999 was quite a major year in Eurovision in terms of it was the first year that we had the change to the language rule, so anyone could sing in whatever language they wanted. And also, by 1999, the vast majority of countries were using televote as well, rather than a mixture of televote juries. All that said, Precious did pretty well in that background. They came 12th, which was not great for the UK at the time, but again, looking back on that, we would certainly take 12th place these days. It's an okay 90s girl band pop track. I think sort of nothing more, nothing less. I think it's sort of mid-tempo and got mid-table, so in many ways it sort of did okay, but not necessarily the most memorable of the UK's entries. 48, all the way back to my good friend's AIDS year of birth, 1963, Ronnie Carroll and Say Wonderful Things.
So you must say wonderful things to me. I think you're wonderful too. Say wonderful things.
So Ronnie Carroll was the first, the first UK entry, the only UK entry to represent the UK twice in a row, so 1963 and 1964. He finished 4th both times as well, so doing pretty well. This is the one that I prefer less. It's sort of a very croony song, and for the UK entries of the early 60s, they tend to be more up tempo than this, but it's still got a catchy element. It's very smooth. Interestingly, the contest last year was hosted by the BBC, and they went through quite a different style. That they had a boom audio, so that the artists weren't sort of constrained by standing in front of a microphone, and so they got to do something a bit more. Ronnie Carroll sang the song with kind of his sort of backing singer sort of looking adoringly at him, and slightly, it feels that these days it makes me feel slightly uncomfortable watching it, and perhaps that's why I don't have this quite so high on my list. But as ever, these are just my thoughts. It'd be lovely to hear from you guys on what you think and how high or low you would have placed them, and join me again soon when we come up with the next 5.